Okay, so these are some of my games, part of my game collection. So as you can see, these are all on the top here. These are all Sega Genesis games. One Sega Master game. These are Nintendo games. The first Nintendo. And the bigger boxes there, like Breath of Fire and those are all Super Nintendo. PlayStation 2 games. PlayStation 2 games. And then some Sega, a little bit of Sega CD, Xbox One, GameCube, more PS2 games, some DS games. These are Dreamcast games, the ones with the white right there. Dreamcast, Japanese Sega Saturn, and then these ones like Splatterhouse and Ninja Spirit, and these orange labeled ones. These are all TurboGrafx 16 games, and they all are these little, they call them turbo chips. And these are the games are on these little cards. And then we have first Xbox games. First Xbox games, 360 games. Down there, those are games for Atari Lynx. And down there is Atari and Atari 2600, Intellivision, Atari 5200. All the way over here, there's more 360 games. And then down, all the way down to here, and going all the way, these are all PlayStation 1 games. These are all mostly RPG games, role-playing games and stuff. I don't have a lot of sports games, but the ones I do have are pretty good. These are like NES shooters. These are PlayStation 1 games, special box sets by a company called Working Designs down there. They used to make these. There's a lot of great games. Now this shelf was full of my loose Sega games, but the earthquake knocked them all out, and they are all in this bag down here right now. And then if we go up here, it's a box for Atari Jaguar, ColecoVision module, so you could play Atari games on a ColecoVision, which would basically be the equivalent of being able to play PS4 games on an Xbox. Odyssey 2. The Odyssey was the very first home console, and then they came with Odyssey 2. And this is how they used to keep the games. This is how you would organize your games. There's an Atari 2600 in there, and this big one is an Intellivision, and then the Sega Saturn steering thing. And this isn't even close to most of my stuff. I still have stuff in boxes, and these two consoles here came out in the early 80s. They're called Vectrex, and they have the vector monitors in there, these vector graphics. Basically, they use one line. So if you ever, I don't know if you've ever played, but if you ever played the arcade Star Wars game, anyways, they're awesome. The controllers are right there. That thing pops out. And then down there, I got PS1s. There's a Game Gear. Then there's a Super Nintendo 2. And then over here, more stuff. My TV, my Xbox One. This is a Retron 5. It plays Japanese games, Nintendo games, Super Nintendo, and Genesis, all with HDMI. Sega Saturns hooked up to this little TV here. The earthquake really kind of messed everything up in here. It's all disorganized. These are my Nintendo games. Let me get this bag. Garbage out. So my first Nintendo games. And then if we go like this, oh, that's metal. Let's see why we're over here. We'll look in here real quick. These are some ColecoVision games. Actually, some pretty rare ColecoVision games. But this is what I use a toolbox for. It's kind of funny. For video games. This here is an Atari Lynx. It's a portable. It's a handheld. It's one of Atari's only handhelds. This here is a Turbo Express. So remember that those games over here that I showed you with the little turbo chip cards? You could take those games and you could play them right here. You didn't have to buy extra smaller games or anything. You could just play your normal games on this portable here, which was revolutionary for the time. Then down here, this is a Sega Nomad. So basically this would play Sega Genesis games on the go, kind of just like the one I showed you, but it would be Genesis games. And you could also use this as a console. This just has a Nintendo DS in it. Then you have, I have a lot of these and they're not for what you think they are. So this is a Neo Geo Pocket Color. This one right here. This is a Wonder Swan. These are both Japanese consoles. Well, this one came out in America, but this one only came out in Japan. And then, of course, Game Boy Advance. This is an aftermarket Sega Genesis player. And then we have what is this, a Pocket? Yeah, Game Boy. Then a Game Boy Advance. So then here's a complete new housing for a Game Boy Advance. I just never put it on yet. And then the first version of Atari Lynx. This is just an old portable TV which doesn't do anything now. And there's a Game Boy Color in here. Hard to do one-handed here. There's a Game Boy Color. And we put all the stuff. See how I keep everything, like protect screens and all that craziness. And then up here we have Sega CD games. And I don't know, some of these games are worth, I don't know, if you wanted to buy them on eBay, it cost you $600 or more. So these are just hilarious. And this is Sega Saturn games. I have another one. This is sitting on top of my TV. It's a shooter. And then PlayStation games, they first came out, they came out in these tall boxes. And these are 3DO games. I'm going to show you what a 3DO is here in a minute. But they came in these super tall boxes. And if you notice, I buy plastic protective covers for my rare games. Then these big boxes here are the ones that are the games for the Vectrex system I showed you just a second ago. Then if I move this, so remember I talked about the TurboGrafx 16? Well, this is a TurboGrafx 16 and a CD system all put into one. It's called Turbo Duo, and it's super rare. So then we go over here. We'll see boxes for Genesis, Sega Master System, and a whole bunch of boxed Intellivision and 5200 and whatnot, Castlevania poster, Bioshock. And then over here I have more Genesis games and all the white ones down there for Sega Master System. I don't even know where my Sega Master System is. I haven't seen it for a while. I have two of them, I think. So Super Nintendo, first Nintendo, Sonic Says Hi. Sonic is sitting on a Sega Dreamcast. Super Nintendo, one below is GameCube. On the top is an Intellivision adapter for Atari to be played on Intellivision. Yet again, another system to be like being able to play PS4 and Xbox or Xbox on PS4. This is the standard version of a TurboGrafx. An N64. Two different PlayStations. That is the one end of a ColecoVision. There's a Sega Saturn. The one underneath it, this is facing behind, is... every time I do this, I think, oh my god, I have so much stuff. This is Atari 7800, Saturn, Atari Jaguar. This is a JVC-Xi. It's rare. It's a Genesis game with a Sega CD. Oh, apparently I have 2 of them. And then this is all 3 versions of the US release of the Panasonic 3DO. Then I have bins and boxes full of games. In my other room I have a Mountain Dew Xbox Plus. Who knows what else I have in there. Right there is a Japanese only console. It was the next release of a TurboGrafx 16 called Super Graphics. Super rare. What else? That's just kind of it for this game room here. I mean, I don't have everything out. Oh, this is the second version of the first Nintendo. It's a top loader. I guess that's a quick little video of everything. Sorry it took me so long to get it to you. I'm downloading the beta for Ghost Recon Wildlands. Jake, you surely get that game. It looks awesome. If you get an Xbox One. Or if you have one, I can't remember. Alright, man. Take it easy.